Christian. Cat, I'd have to double-check the odds of who's most likely to get fired next. And I'm going to keep this in the NFL now before we get into the college side of things, because Franklin was definitely the leader in the clubhouse. I'd imagine Luke Fickell is probably the most likely candidate to get fired in the college things. On the NFL, I think it's a little bit more open season on who's going, because I was pro, let's get rid of him, Raheem Morris. And I think Raheem Morris, he saved
one game. Bought himself a week.
No,
congratulations.
Now they beat Buffalo. That's going to buy him quite a bit. That's going to buy him quite a bit. Are you kidding me? What, are they going to fire him at 3-4?
I'm not saying mid-season, but listen, at the end of the year, I still think Atlanta might have to have a conversation. As far as coaches that might be fired mid-season in the NFL, I don't see another firing. I don't. I see at the end of the year, Mike McDaniel. I see possibly at the end of the year, Raheem Morris. You already had Tennessee fire their head coach midseason. Colin, no one from the AFC West is getting fired.
How about this?
Brian Dable, maybe, depending on what Jackson does.
Bad year, Sean McDermott get fired. Based on what you've seen the last 2 weeks, if this spirals, 10-7 make the postseason, lose first round, or even don't even advance.
I'm on record, Colin, saying if they don't go to the Super Bowl this year, I think they mutually agree to move on. You have to, I think. If you're Buffalo and you don't get out of the AFC in a year where the Chiefs look like they've been the most vulnerable, and granted, I know the last 2 weeks they've looked really darn good, but the Chiefs not looking like that dominant team this year and the AFC being open, if you don't get to the Super Bowl this year, when will you? And I think there will be a mutual split. I'll call that a mutual split.
And amicable, walk away.
Yeah,
they're not firing mid-year, obviously.
No,
but that is somebody that I would say the odds have risen quite a bit in his odds to get fired.
Now, you are Mr. Panthers. I think Dave Canales, listen, it's kind of been a nightmare.
Mike, they keep winning. You got to start giving a little respect to Carolina.
They stink, dude. They stink.
They stink, but they win games. They stink. They're going to get that over.
So let's go through the guys I said. Canales, Dable, McDaniel, and who's the one? Oh, gosh, oh, my God. I cannot believe. I'm missing probably the biggest one. He deserves to be fired midseason, but he's not going to get fired midseason. That's Kevin Stefanski. He's a great, listen, good coach.
I would say that's the most likely of the bunch to get fired midseason.
He's a good coach. He's a good coach. Don't get me wrong, but it's time. That's the worst offense in the league and a historically bad Browns offense. They averaged 15 points a game last year. They're averaging 13.5. They somehow got worse. Unbelievable. And then they trade Joe. Did you see what Mike Tomlin said about Flacco getting traded intra-division?
I think he was right.
He was right. Let's listen to Mike Tomlin reacting to Andrew Berry, boy genius, GM for the Browns, trading Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me.
It makes sense to us too, Mike.
That you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
I think he's 100% right.
He's right, and I think a lot of it has to do with them playing Cincinnati this week. I think they were expecting to face Jake Browning.
I just think from a principle standpoint, he's completely right.
Yeah.
Hey, let me help fix our division rival's biggest problem.
We've never made a trade with them in the history of our organization.
Their biggest problem, their most glaring issue, let's solve that. Solve that at least in the interim. And then
move up 15 picks, like a six for a fifth.
That's that Poindexter nerd stuff I'm always telling you guys about. They use way too much analytics. They don't realize that you need good football players on the field. That's my biggest thing with Andrew Berry.
And that's what you had with Joe Flacco.
Schlesinger and Jutman. I think a lot of it has to do with what's around Joe. The offensive line is horrible.
That's why he works. That's why he works in Cincinnati, because they got good players. You got
Chase and Higgins.
They got good players.
You got Jerry Jeudy, who, listen, Poindexters pay Jerry Jeudy. Poindexters don't like paying wide receivers a lot of money. Listen, we can sit here and say if these guys are making too much money, I think that's a conversation. But you got to have good. You got to have good players. Stefanski, Dable, McDaniel, Canales, and Morris. That's the list I've compiled for you.
I would also be on the side. I think there's a path for McDaniel to get let go midseason. I don't know if that's the Dolphins' way to do it.
Doesn't necessarily happen.
Is there a point? The Dolphins are 1-5, and I know they've been somewhat competitive. But hey, 2-9. Are you really sitting around saying, let's run this back with the coach after all the media crap storm that has continued?
Christian and Colin, it's already started, obviously, with McDaniel being 1-5. But do you want to know a good way to really get the heat going? It's to lose to the Browns in Cleveland, who are the worst.
If they lose, imagine this: they lose to the Browns in Cleveland. They have at the Falcons, Ravens at home, and this is the Ravens when they're healthier, and the Ravens who are going to need the game. At Bills and then Commanders. They could go 1-4 there. If they go 1-4, I mean, do the Dolphins accept that? That is 2-9.
No.
Do they really accept that? And maybe they steal one against the Falcons. Maybe they could win against the Ravens. But I mean, what have we seen outside of them being competitive against a Charger team that is reeling? And, you know, they were competitive against the Bills. I mean, every game they play is close. They just don't win the close game.
Historically, they don't do it intra-season. So I'm going to say they wait till the end of the year.
If I had to put my odds on something, I would say McDaniel, Stefanski.
Can I throw someone in their own category on a one and done? Who we've talked about before?
A one and done.
A one and
just
done.
got hired.
One and done. Aaron Glenn. I think the Browns are worse than the Jets, believe it or not.
They brought in him, and then I believe they brought in the general manager.
Correct, though. But
so you're going to just keep everybody else around, but get rid of him?
Looks like a one-win team right now.
I don't disagree with you that it's a nightmare.
Listen, 0-17 is crazy. It's very hard to go 0-17.
And the thing is that Jet team, talent-wise, I mean, they're not that bad.
They're not, but
I mean, is the decision, if it was Aaron Glenn's decision, like he made it seem it was, to move on from Aaron Rodgers, and the Steelers look that good with him, and Justin Fields looks as bad as he does?
I mentioned at the time that I thought they did Rodgers dirty. They didn't owe Rodgers anything. I agree on that.
And the thing is, they signed Fields to a 2-year contract.
He acted like a child.
And the funny
Glenn
part,
acted like a child.
But apart from the actual manner of which it happened, the actual decision to move away from Aaron Rodgers.
And it was a very public decision because of Rodgers going on McAfee to talk about it. That's an option. Hey, you know what? If you're going to do it, it sounds crazy. Flush it again.
GM gone again.
Everybody gone.
So
if this didn't work, we're not jumping into we're not doing the Titans. We're not doing this. Flush.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Everything. Flush everything.
33rd team. You guys still got our number? We got another job for you.
You're going to have another search to do.